Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Today, we'll discuss about healthy aging. Age is uh, a biological mechanism. We age with time, and there are some consequences to aging, like the bodily processes and mental processes slow down. So let's understand, can we maintain our health with age or not? That is more important. And one of the major components of healthy aging is how to remain psychologically healthy. So in that context, we'll discuss healthy aging today. So there are some changes in the ability to think, and they are considered a normal part of the aging process. We develop many thinking abilities that appear to peak around age 30, and on an average very subtly decline with age. These age-related declines most commonly include overall slowness in thinking and difficulties sustaining attention, multitasking, holding information in mind, and word finding. Research indicates that age-related changes in brain structures, such as decreased hippocampal, frontal, and temporal lobe volumes, are a common aspect of aging that contributes to some of the thinking changes. So these are some of the areas of the brain: hippocampus, frontal brain or frontal lobe, and temporal lobe of the brain. So the volume of those lobes are affected due to aging. However, not all thinking abilities decline with age. In fact, vocabulary, reading, and verbal reasoning remain unchanged or even improve during the aging process. You might have observed people who are aged. They, when they speak uh, with a fine version of their speech, with new vocabulary and new insights, wisdom, you'll find with aged people. Now let us understand what is the difference between normal aging and dementia. You all are aware of this term dementia. While some mild changes in cognition are considered a normal part of the aging process, dementia is not. Normal age-related declines are subtle and mostly affect the speed of thinking and attentional control. In abnormal aging, declines in cognition are more severe and may include other thinking abilities such as rapid forgetting or difficulties navigating, solving common problems, expressing oneself in conversation, or behaving outside of social rules. Am I audible to you all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Please mute yourselves while I speak. Abnormal aging can also include the motor system resulting in excessive tripling, falls, or tremor. Often, it is difficult to determine exactly when a person should be concerned with cognitive changes they may be experiencing. Symptoms vary from person to person. What is normal for one person may not be normal for another. This contributes to the challenges clinicians face when determining whether what someone is experiencing is a significant decline for them or within normal expectations. And this is very tricky to understand what is normal. When you talk about normal, we generally talk with reference to that particular age group. So there is a range of the behaviors, and within that range, if you function, then we say that yes, this is normal. But if you are functioning below that range, we consider that it is not normal. That's the an easy way of defining the normal. In abnormal aging, which can be ranged from mild cognitive impairment to dementia. Mild cognitive impairment, or MCI, and dementia are broad terms that indicate that there is a decline in cognition greater than would be expected for that person's age, education, or development. MCI means that the cognitive declines do not affect the person's ability to carry out everyday tasks such as shopping, cooking, driving, while dementia indicates those cognitive difficulties are impacting the person's ability to complete everyday tasks. The terms MCI and dementia only tell us the severity of the problem, but not the cause. Some of the most common causes of MCI and dementia are Alzheimer's disease, vascular disease, frontotemporal degeneration, and Lewy body disease. So what are the symptoms which needs attention? The symptoms may be getting lost in familiar places, repetitive questioning, you forget very frequently, odd or inappropriate behaviors, forgetfulness of recent events, repeated falls or loss of balance, personality changes, decline in planning and organization, changes in diet or eating habits, changes in hygiene, increased apathy, changes in language abilities, including comprehension. The progression of cognitive deficits observed in conditions such as Alzheimer's disease may be accelerated in the few years immediately preceding the diagnosis. Accelerated cognitive decline may not occur until events like a life stressor or other illness, for example, pneumonia, reach a threshold where the brain can no longer compensate for damage. Thus, it is important to get regular medical checkups to monitor the extent and severity to which someone may be experiencing cognitive decline. Independent living should not be compromised during normal aging, unlike the transition to neurodegenerative condition. So what are the risk factors for cognitive decline? There are several risk factors for Alzheimer's disease and other causes of dementia. Research suggests approximately 50% of Alzheimer's disease cases may be related to these modifiable risk factors such as type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, midlife obesity, smoking, depression, little or no mental activity, little or no physical activity. Now, if you analyze these risk factors, you would understand that every Indian has these risk factors of cognitive declining. India is the diabetes capital. Every fifth or sixth Indian is taking blood pressure medicine after a certain age. Midlife obesity. Obesity is already a problem starting from childhood. Forget about midlife. Smoking as such is also a very rampant in our society. Depression, we all know it is happening very frequently. Little or no mental activity. We are into mental activity, but those kind of mental activities are not enough to keep us active. I mean, we are engaged in some kind of mental activity which is not challenging, and little or no physical exercise. We are maintaining a sedentary life. So, from these risk factors, we can well understand uh, most of the Indians are on the path of cognitive decline sooner than later. But after learning the risk factors, we have the keys. We can control these risk factors to maintain our cognitive agility for a longer period of time. So, how to maintain your brain? That's more important. We have those techniques available with us. I mean, it's not technique. You can talk about them as the behavioral changes. Research suggests that the combination of good nutrition, physical activity, mental and social engagement may provide benefit in promoting brain health. Number one, stay away from smoking, one of the most dangerous risk factors. Number two, exercise at a moderately high level of physical activity. Moderately high level. Exercises that facilitate oxygen and growth factors in the brain and helps modulate the brain's immune responses. So those who are engaged in moderate to high level of physical activity, the uh, brain gets oxygen and brain's immune responses are modulated by that activity. So get into some physical activity. Number three, get routine medical care. Illnesses in your body affect your brain's ability to optimally function. So do not neglect any illness that you uh, think or you find is difficult to handle. But at the same time, do not be so panic about little issues. I mean, do not be a hypochondriac for every minor issues. Number four, maintain excellent cardiovascular health. Cardiovascular health refers to uh, blood pressure and cholesterol levels that has to be maintained, well maintained. What's good for the heart is good for the brain. Now, the companies are advertising about the oil that you are taking, but as you know, how much truth is there in the advertisements. So take a conscious decision, understand what is good for you, what is not good for you. There is no dearth of information and knowledge in this era, but the fact is that you get into the correct information. Do not consume wrong information and wrong type of food habits. Then number five, build social support networks to reduce stress. Challenge your brain and share the aging process with other people who are experiencing the same changes and joys of entering into the later years of life. So your friend circles, your social relationships They play a very vital role in keeping you young for a longer period of time. I mean, active. It is not about you will age, but you will age actively, not as a passive aging process. Everyone is aging. Number six, keep doing the activities that challenge you and you enjoy for as long as possible. Trying new activities may be a great way to challenge your brain to make new brain connections. Gardening, playing bridge, walking, reading, or other activities that are complicated enough to involve your mind but don't add stress to your life, that is more important. I mean, in learning some new skill, don't get too much into that. It must be moderately challenging. It should not be too challenging that you would never ever learn it. So don't attempt some of the uh, learning some of the skills which is extremely challenging for you. And number seven, maintain a healthy diet. Plan your meals around your vegetables and then fill in with other foods. Otherwise, as a general plan, eat a variety of foods as close to their natural state as possible. And this is from the research. It has been proved that if you take enough vegetable and fruits in your meal, in addition to uh, nuts or dry fruits, that is good for you. Try to avoid the too much of carbohydrate or too much of calorie, because if you go on eating and eating, your body and brain both get tired. They don't find time to relax. If you go on doing exercise again and again and again and again, it is not going to help you develop your muscles. Rather, you will become weak. So if you go on eating throughout the day and night, what will happen? Your systems will get weakened. You need to give a break to your food pattern. We are not talking about this in our normal uh, uh, in our homes, we don't talk about this. But this is one of the important things, how it is affecting your physical as well as mental health, the food that you choose, the food that you eat. So while it is important to remain vigilant about maintaining good health, it is equally important to acknowledge that there are individual differences during the aging process. You should discuss any concerns you may have with a healthcare professional. Many a times we are asking our friends and somebody uh, who we know, but you won't find the correct information from them. You need a professional to guide you well. And these days, we are engaged in many activities over the internet, but there are many good stuffs also which are not being attended to, and some people get the benefit of those good stuffs. Try to explore what's good for you and follow those to keep yourself healthy. Uh, Now let us discuss some of the healthy behaviors that you people are adapting to keep yourself physically as well as mentally healthy. So how do you keep yourself physically and mentally healthy? What are the ways or what are the methods? What are the techniques? How do you keep yourself healthy? Those who think that they are healthy. So what are the ways and means through which you do maintain your health? Just raise your hand so I can go to them. Whoever wants to share the how you maintain your health through your activities, through your food, through your uh, daily routines. You can talk about sleep, you can talk about food, you can talk about drinks, you can talk about the exercises, anything. Am I audible to you all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
So whoever wants to share the good habits that you are following, which has given some benefits to you health wise.
Good.
Akash.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Akash.
Sir, what was the question, sir? I network, Vitor network, I didn't
How do
get it.
you how do you maintain your health through exercises, activities, food, sleep, uh, or uh, any water uh, intake,
Sir,
something like that?
sir,
How do
I'm
you
in
start
house.
your day with?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
When I wake up in the morning, I wake up at 7 o'clock. Then I go to the gym
Mm,
and I go there for I maintain that. I give that time at least 30 minutes, and then
mm,
sometimes there are some what do you call badam. There are some nuts. I put them in water before night. Then I eat
mm.
them. Then after that, the classes are start. Then my
Okay.
beginning of the day is like that.
Okay. So how many of you go to bed before 11 p.m.? Just raise your hand. Before 11 p.m., how many of you go to bed? 99 students are there in the class. Now 19 people have said that they go to bed before 11 p.m. 21, 22, 23, 25, 26, 27, 28, 31, 31, 32. So those who have joined late, for them, I'm repeating the question once again. How many of you go to bed before 11 p.m.? Raise your hands. 33, 34. Okay, out of 102 students, 35 students go to bed before 11 p.m. So that means it's not a very good number. Roughly 30% students do that. How many of you now? Lower your hands, all of you. I'm doing a survey right now. Lower your hands, all of you. Lower your hands. Lower your hands. Dishant, Asis, Pangam, Rahul, Piyush. Lower your hands. Piyush and Rahul, lower your hands. Piyush, please lower your hand. Okay, good. So now the next question: how many of you go to bed after midnight? That means after 12. After 12 midnight. I can see the graph changing very quickly. How many of you go to bed after midnight? That is after 12 midnight. Hmm. Okay, good. 38 out of 101, 39 now. 40, 41, 42. And this also includes you go to bed at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. after midnight anytime. Okay, 44 out of 101 students. Lower your hands, please. Please lower your hands. Tanbir, Kushal, Harshita, Subham, Sarthak, Karina, Ashnod, Shubham, Karina, Navin, Akash. Please lower your hands. So, how many of you don't sleep throughout the night? Anyone? You never sleep at night. Or is it? I'm surprised. Rutaj, Rutaj, is this true?
Occasional. Also, the occasional is more than occasional.
Sorry?
Quite frequently. Like there are a few rare days I sleep early, but mostly yes, around 4 or 5 a.m.
Oh, that's I mean, this is so strange. I can't believe. Yesterday I had a talk about this sleep and academic performance. Well, talking about your health, how do you maintain your sleep wake habit? I mean, the cycle. You need at least 7 hours to 8 hours of sleep. So, how do you maintain that sleep cycle?
So it works out fine most of the time.
Okay, so it might mean that you are working on something which interests you. You are so much
Yes,
interested, so you
yes.
don't feel bored. You find it enjoyable. You are in fact relaxing in your work. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
If you like your work and you are like a mad person, I'm mad about my work. I love it doing. So then probably you don't need this amount of sleep, and it's not possible for many. Now, out of 100 or maybe 103 students, we found only one who would remain awake almost uh, most of the nights, but still then uh, he doesn't require that 7 to 8 hours of sleep and remains fresh. It is not everybody's job. Not everybody can do that. Yeah, these are some of the exceptional abilities some people have, so they can. And we may consider him on the right side of the normal distribution curve, who has challenged the normality. Yeah, that's interesting to know. Anyone who sleeps more than 12 hours per day in the group, probably nobody will raise their hands. Anyone?
Sometimes.
Who's sometimes okay. Sometimes it's fine. Some people do sleep for 12 hours, 14 hours also. Okay. Now you understood how what is your sleeping pattern. I'll come back to the question that I have asked in the beginning. Those who are going to bed before 11 and those who are going to bed after midnight, uh, those who go before 11, how many of you think that you are healthy? Only those who have raised their hands, uh, who go to their beds before 11 p.m. I mean, not exactly in that sense healthy. I mean, you feel good. You feel good. Only those who go to the bed before 11 p.m. How many of you feel good about this? Okay, four are there. Okay, lower your hands. Now, those who uh, go to bed after midnight, after 12, 12 or after 12, anytime, and you are maintaining a good health. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 Mm. We have 13 people now. 14, 15, 16, 17, 20, 21, 23. Okay, good. So from this group, we found that staying late at night is not affecting your health, isn't it? But if you talk about the uh, biological clock, which we call the circadian rhythm or the sleep-wake cycle, that follows a pattern. Please lower your hands. That follows a pattern, and it has a relationship with the light. Our bodies slow down with the sun setting. And if you remain awake for a longer period of time at night, currently you won't feel any difference because you are in the growing stage. You can very well manage all these stresses. And in fact, in the management institutions, students work throughout the night. It's an experiment on them, how much stress you can take. So it's not that difficult. But with age, when you hit 30s or 40s, you would experience that the same habit is not going to support you or your body and mind. You look around your other people around you of that age, those who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Ask them to remain awake like you and still function as actively as you are. I don't think there will be many people who would say, yes, we can be as active as you, remaining awake for longer period of time at night. And this suggests that with age, we need some kind of alterations in our behavior. If we do not change, maybe we won't be able to maintain the same health for a longer period of time, because that would be too much for the body and mind to sustain. And they need repairing. Now, talk about the cricketer who had a heart attack at the age of 48. What could be the reasons? We have many stories of the youngsters losing their lives because of a wrong lifestyle. Lifestyle refers to how do you maintain your life. And what is life? Life is time. How do you use that time? There are 24 hours in a day and night both. What do you do during that time? What do you eat? whether you involve in some kind of physical activity. I don't say that you must do some exercise, go to gym. I'm talking about some form of physical exercise which will give you little bit of exertion. So you feel tired. So by the time you hit the bed, you would be sleeping in another 5 to 10 minutes. You shouldn't take much longer time to fall asleep. That shows that you are healthy. So that is why it is important to maintain health. You are healthy, no doubt about it. But maintaining health is the biggest challenge. And with age, you also need certain precautions. You also uh, need to work for your health as well. Okay. Any questions? Pujya Mishra and Mehdi Hassan, you have raised your hands. Do you have any questions to ask?
No, sir.
No? Okay.